What's up, guys? It's TheDuckChris back for another ramble, and today's ramble is going to be somewhat about today's update, which was the Rev Caves adjustments, but also about this year in general. And generally, my question is just why are these updates so boring? Why are they so lackluster? And I'm not talking about the actual content. Once we get into the Rev Caves, I'm sure they're more active today, they're more interesting, and that's fine. That's what the update was for. But more about the process in which they come out. If you take a look at today's blog, today's update post, it doesn't even really seem excited. It seems apologetic that it even exists. The first paragraph is just, oh, sorry that this took so long. Sorry that all the changes aren't coming today. And you have to scroll past a whole paragraph of apologies to even get to the content announcement, which is, basically nothing. It just says, well, we've increased a little bit of the loot and the spawn timers are changed. And then it adds a whole bunch of stuff about Deadman, which is great for those people that play it. But there's a big contrast between that and, something that makes the players excited. And maybe I'm just thinking about this because RuneScape 3 just had another big update this week, and it was massive. It was an entirely new boss. It was an entirely new area, new best in slots, new everything, and while they're very different games and very different teams, I have to think about the reactions. And just the way that it's presented. When this update was presented to the RuneScape 3 live stream, the mods were so excited. The mods were so happy and so, amped to be talking about what they were putting out. And everyone who was playing it was amped to just jump in and figure it out. And that's just such a contrast from what we got in old school today. And I think part of it is due to timelines. This is one thing that I think has become a big issue in the past year since the pandemic started, but has been an issue in the past on various projects. And the thing is that we only are excited about updates at 2 points, and it's when the blog comes out, when we're first announced, and then when it actually comes out. But the thing is, if it takes too long between those 2 points, then we're not excited when it actually comes out. And that's kind of what's going on with the Revs and Wilderness stuff. They announced it a year ago, I think, in terms of like the original discussing when they wanted to change Wilderness and Revenants. And it's been just way too long with no information that I don't even remember what the blog said, what they were planning to do. And so how can I be excited for an update, that I don't even remember what it's supposed to be? The update post isn't excited. And, it seems like the JMods themselves kind of forgot even what this was supposed to be about. Because there's a lot of comments about the Amulet of Avarice, where it was supposed to be equal to a Salvami in terms of effectiveness against the Revenants, in addition to its new effect of, a lot of items not being noted unless you use the Amulet. So it was supposed to be an overall buff to the Amulet, but they just forgot about the part that making it as good as a salve. They just totally forgot about it. And I did too, because obviously it's been so long since the blog came out. So, and that's not even getting into the part where 90% of the updates that we were looking for from this Wilderness update, they just told us have been delayed to the next year for no conceivable reason. We don't have any updates that are coming out in the next 2 months that we know about. We've been promised a new quality of life blog for like 6 months now, and that hasn't happened. Obviously, Raids 3 just got pushed back because Next got pushed back because the leagues got pushed back. So what is going on? I don't think it's too much to ask to just be confused as to what is happening at jagex with the timelines. We were told literally like a month ago, or a little less, like, Next is coming out. We want it to come out this year. Great. As soon as they told us that, like a week later, they're like, nope, we're pushing it back. And we're pushing leagues back. I understand maybe the overall reason in terms of pushing leagues back for Group Iron. And, some people have said maybe you could have just pushed it back to December or like another week or two, but I think it was not a bad idea overall to push leagues back a bit because, people don't want to play over the holidays necessarily in terms of competition, in terms of, having to spend time on leagues when maybe there are other things that they have to or want to be doing. But the end result is just, frankly, ridiculous. We've had so many months with just nothing. And today's update is pretty much the epitome of that. It's just straight up nothing. Nothing has happened. There's a very minor adjustment. Like, basically, you could have put today's rev updates in the patch notes for any other major update, and people would be like, well, this is a very lackluster patch notes. And it's not even doing that. They're putting it in a major update. And it's just so nothing that you have to wonder what is going on. So timelines, definitely one thing that I think is a major issue. The other thing that maybe deserves a longer discussion, but I'm only going to go into it a little bit, is about the polling system. One thing that's a big difference between old school and a lot of other games is when they have other brand new updates come out, it's usually a big surprise. And the amount of time that they have between when they first learn about the update and when it's in the game is often like a week, if that. Whether it's RuneScape 3, they announce each front of the Elder God Wars a week before it comes into the game. Whether it's something like Smash Bros. On the Switch, where sometimes when they announce a new DLC character, it comes out that day. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But, the potential is there for something that's extremely surprising and exciting. And with the polling system, we've definitely lost a bit of that. So, I don't really think that the polling system, as it is, has that many problems. This is just one aspect that is negative about it. And I wonder, if something should be done in terms of standardizing how long something takes from poll to inception. When they announced Raids 3 this summer, they still didn't poll the rewards, which is fine. But they've introduced the blogs for the rewards, and now there's a beta, even though the beta, they've already had a beta for the Raids 3 weapons once, and people got, kind of negative feedback on some of the stuff. They adjusted it. They want to have a second beta. And I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm just not excited to try beta weapons. I would rather just not be able to try them and try them on the first day. Because if I try them in like a half-baked form, then I'm not going to be excited. I'm going to be like, well, this is kind of weird. There's no animations, custom animations, the graphics aren't done. And I want to be able to try something for the first time when it's in-game for real and just be like, oh my gosh, it's finally here. We can try it. So I'm not excited to do the beta. And I understand that there might be some people who are interested to try out new gear in terms of giving feedback, doing play testing, just like to see how it feels before they know whether it should come into game or not. But I think it's not too much to ask for jagex to be able to do their own QA testing, to be able to test their own content. And if they're using the beta just as a way for players to, make up their minds on pulling items that are coming in the future. Just be like, well, try it and see if you like it, or try it and see and tell us what you think. I feel like we can get enough information from the blogs. Like, we know, obviously it's hard to translate raw stats into a feel for DPS, but if you tell me something's going to be 20% more DPS, I'll just be like, great, okay. I don't need to necessarily test that every single place to be like, wow, it's really strong. Like, yeah, I know the wand is going to be really strong. That's fine. And it definitely ruins some of the aspect of discovery of, like, trying out a new weapon on the first day and seeing how strong it is. So that's why I don't participate in the beta, and I think the beta is a waste of time. And that's not even getting into the fact that, the reactions of players to the most recent blogs, I don't think the beta is going to change any of that. We have enough feedback just from looking at the blogs, but they'd already planned the beta, so they had to go forward with the beta. And of course, this just pushes back the timelines again. So in terms of time from poll to discussion to rewards, it's definitely something to be worked on. And I wish that we could just trust jagex. I wish that we could just say, vote on Raids 3 as a whole, give us the rewards you think that we would like, and we can adjust them later on if they seem underpowered or overpowered. But the fact is, we can't really do that, because as we've just seen by these blogs, they don't really have a good handle on what we want. And the stuff that they do offer, a lot of times people are like, what is this? Like, what is the point of the low life armor? A lot of people don't like that. What is the point of the stab weapon that isn't even as good as a scythe, or is better than a scythe? Either way, we don't want it. So what is the point of the Chinchompa bow? Like, it's okay, I guess, but a lot of people wanted a crossbow. A lot of people wanted, Pernix, Torva, like Virtus with the Ancient Magics. It's like, okay, but again, it's not exciting. So overall, I'm not really sure how to wrap this up. It's a situation that's not very good in terms of the way that jagex is presenting and providing content is not exciting. I think Phosani's Nightmare is an example of how you can make it exciting, and same with hard mode TOB. While they were still, not new content technically, they came out very quickly, and they came out without a lot of information. We knew what we were getting from them in terms of rewards, but, we didn't, it was very quick, basically. Like, they told us, we're going to get these kits, we didn't even know how the time was going to work for TOB, and they didn't spend ages trying to set up, a way that it was going to work. In terms of project management, it's very much a difficult science, and every company is going to have their own way of project managing. But jagex, it does not have a great history of project management. And since they were reorganized into the different mod teams, which they talk about sometimes, and we have some information, but we definitely don't have the whole picture. But since they've reorganized into the different mod teams, I had hoped that it would be better on the project management side, and it really hasn't. The timelines have only been worse. The creative vision on certain things that are passion projects are great, like Phosani's Nightmare. The creative vision on leagues has been great, but also, passion project with Mod Husky and Mod Flippy, like, they really took it over and were like, this is it, we're going to be in charge of this. Even Group Iron, I think Mod Elena and her team did a good job making sure that it was, like, going to work in a very specific way. And while there have been a lot of bugs, like, overall the project management side of it, I think, has been good. But, I don't know who to put the blame on this sense of bad project management. Is it the actual project managers? Is it the community managers for not managing timelines properly? Is it like the overall, top level management for not setting priorities right? Is it the teams for, has the quality of life teams like been too busy doing random stuff to the point that they never get anything finished? Even if they just had another quality of life blog, like poll blog, like we've been wanting for 6 months, for elite clue fixes and like other various things, to tide us over until the next major update, like I'm sure people would be willing to discuss that. Like, well, maybe change this. I have some fixes over here, like just something. But we're getting nothing. And it's been a problem for the past 2 years. Not only have they been doing nothing, they haven't been telling us anything. And when they do tell us things, it's a big, grandiose gesture being like, next is coming very soon. And then they don't follow up on it. So ultimately, I think the communication needs to be better, the project management needs to be better, the timelines need to be better, and the content needs to be more exciting and presented in a more exciting way. Now, these are big issues, and there's a lot of them, and I don't really have the fixes in mind in terms of how to do it. But I think it's important to note as players that, this stuff is really sliding. And while the game itself is still fine, the game is fun, we're having a good time. Obviously, like those of us who are playing Group Iron, we have tons of content to do. And those of us who are doing endgame stuff, at this point, we're kind of used to not having content, and at least we have something on the horizon to look forward to. So at the end of the day, the game experience is not bad, but the community experience has just gotten worse and worse. If you have any ideas on what the mods should do, on what we should do, on maybe what we should ask the mods to do, feel free to leave them in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. This has been my third ramble, and if you liked it, feel free to check out one of the other ones that I posted. Leave a like, comment, subscribe maybe for more, and until then, I'll see you next time.